Hi there, welcome to Agora Studio Visit, a sneak peek into our artist's creative process. We're your host, Andrea, the social media coordinator at Agora Gallery, and Sabrina, the director of marketing and PR. Let's kick off today's episode. Sabrina, would you like to present our guests?
Yes, absolutely. We're so excited to have Konstantina joining us from Sweden. We're going to take a peek into your special spaces and see what you're up to. We're so excited to get a glimpse into your creative processes and to understand how you're working in this current situation. Konstantina, would you like to give us your tour?
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I don't have an actual art studio. My whole apartment is my art studio. Here I'm sitting on my living room, and behind me I normally have the stuff that I used to paint. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, so that's how I normally do it. And like I can give a tour on the new paintings. I don't know if it's working. Yeah, it's working. So this one is a new one that I started like last week after I submitted my dissertation for printing. So it was like an award to myself to do this one. This guy here, I don't know, can you see it?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, this one I had it differently. It's the third and last time I'm changing it. I had it white before, and then I decided to do it in a more abstract way with lots of colors.
Mm-hmm.
But last week I ordered this blackest black, so I was curious to try it, and then I really liked the outcome and decided to put some gold on it. Mm-hmm. And then after like a really bad day with the dissertation 2 or 3 weeks ago, I did this one, which is basically with gold and some black, because I really love black. I mean, I'm a person that loves black, and I use black a lot in my art. I'm also always dressed in black.
Yeah, you're in good company.
Sorry?
I said you're in good company.
Okay, yes, that's true. That's true. I mean, I love black because it has this mystery and just sophisticated and elegance at the same time. So I really love black. I believe it's also really fashionable, and it can bring lots of emotions in the same time. Then behind me I have this one. For this one, I used plaster on the canvas, and then I didn't know how to name it, and I asked a friend, and she named it Avocado, so I kept the name my friend gave it to it, so I really liked it. And the one I started this day, so it's this one. This one is a casting out of myself with plaster, and I think I will have it again on black with some gold leaves as I did with the faces there. Mm-hmm. Some of my human canvas prints here, and then it's the collection of my fallen angels by the window. So
yes, yeah.
So that is it. Like,
do you find when you're using, like you said, using the black, I know it can be challenging just technically with all the different values and trying to get at that true black versus, you know, there's so many different ways to mix black. And then you mentioned you had just gotten a new black. I mean, how do you, technically speaking, how do you go about?
Well, I always wanted this super dark black, the one that reflects less light on my art. So as you mentioned, I was doing all the combinations from different blacks to try to find this. And on an internet search, like late at night after research, I was like basically Googling how to have the darkest black or the blackest black. Yeah. And then I found a paint, and I was like, I can give it a try. I can order it to see if I'm happy with it. If not, I can start again the chemistry of mixing the blacks. But in that one painting with the faces and the gold, I'm really happy how it looks. So with this one, because I had another black, the one behind me, because I had another black before, I don't like the outcome so far. So I'm pretty curious to see after I add like coats on it, how it will actually look.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but also my angels back there is also full of white and black. So
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I think especially with the all black, even with the hints of gold, it's interesting to see those different values and to see all the different intricate texture. It's you have to look, which is nice. You know, I think it's interesting, and even more so in person, of course. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about the different? I know you have, like you said, your Fallen Angels series, and then these works that you've been working on with the cast bodies. Do you want to give us a little insight on what the inspiration is between those two series?
well, the Fallen Angels started. The inspiration of Fallen Angels actually started in November 2018 when I was on a trip in Oslo, and I met a person who was suicidal. And having my personal experience with cancer and with a relationship that was abusive, then I would start thinking how this can be on the art. How can art reflect upon that? So I decided, like on my way back, on the flight back from Oslo to Sweden, I started drawing on the airplane and then drawing some faces that looked more like the one on the bottom, like the guy on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And I really liked it. And then I had the idea so that I could put it on the canvas and I could use black and white, of course, so it can pop more the face. And then I had, after this I evolved, like every face that I saw, because some of the people are my friends, it's not just random people, some of them are my friends, and I did my boyfriend also, but he has it. Every face that I was seeing after that, I was picturing like fading away one part of like most of the parts of the face and be more chaotic to the different emotions and frustration that we have in life or the dark times.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it started. And then the casting, I had the inspiration about the casting the same year actually that I was visiting my sister in Germany. And one time it was like we were sitting on the couch and then I said, oh, I have this inspiration. I want to start doing casting and then putting on canvas. And then I experimented a little bit, but then I thought that I could combine this with the casting together with the angels, so I can have it together. And in the casting, I can draw the wings of the angels. So I consider them the same kind of project.
Right. They work really beautifully together. I love how it's founded in the content, obviously, but also driven by the materials. And the blacks and the whites obviously are a very nice balance and difficult to achieve, I think, when you are just limiting to those two color palettes. But they come together really, really beautifully.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a big challenge actually, because if you have more colors, you can put more depth into the painting, right, and a bigger perspective than just two colors that as I limit myself. Mm-hmm. It's challenging, I must say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So, and how have you, in terms of current, I mean, I know you're finishing up your Ph.D., as we were discussing earlier, and balancing that with your art. And now, of course, we've thrown this into the mix, which I know also puts a wrench in your end of your program. How is the current situation influencing your daily life, your art making, your schooling?
Well, to be honest, I was in a self-quarantine since like September or October in order to finalize my PhD, because I had also 5 papers that were conference papers to publish into journals and then write a dissertation. It's not an easy task in like only a few months, when you know that you need like at least 2 months before your defense to have everything published and printed, because that's the rules here. Wow. So it was, I'm in a social distance myself since many months, but I believe that this situation will affect my future. Apart from everyone's future, I believe it will affect my future, because I will just go out there and start looking for a position or for a job. So I don't think that the market is really moving. I really hope that I can put all this stress that I have, both from like the research and the defense and the uncertain future, into my art, so I can find balance and heal. So that's what I hope.
Absolutely.
But I know it's a difficult path to come. So
yeah, absolutely. But you have that outlet, which is nice. And like we were saying with Jody, I think most artists work in solitude, so you already have that solitary aspect of what you're doing. But during a time like this, you get to transfer that energy and at least find some sort of calming factor with making the art and translating it into your artwork. So I think that's important.
Yeah.
To keep at.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank
It's
you.
really nice to see you both and to see your work and your spaces that we don't normally get to see. We see the other end of it, which is equally as nice. But this is a lot of fun. I think, Andra, you had a few questions that you wanted to ask as well.
Yeah, I had a few fun questions here prepared for you. Konstantina, do you listen to music when you create your artworks?
Yeah, it's like I can't live without music. So I used to listen a lot of music all the time, actually, and it's mostly rock music. So I guess it fits with all the style, black and everything. But lately it's mostly Starset that I'm listening when I paint. So.
Oh, I see. Nice. Dynamic music. Hey, let's say that you're a new addition to our crayon box. What color would you be? Although I think we know the answer.
No, I think I would use red, actually. I think that some red will look nice between the black and white. It will put some like tension there. It will make the paintings more intense. So that's what
Something
I
that
think.
pops. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. If you were to cook with a very famous artist, who would that artist would be?
Yeah, I guess that artist would be Salvador Dali. He's one of my favorite because I feel he was also able to think outside of the box, putting new shapes into the canvas. And as he was saying, that he was transferring his own dreams into the canvas. So this is something that I really like, using imagination together with emotions on the canvas. So I would choose him.
Nice. Do you have any advice for the artists watching us? Maybe some of them are dealing with anxiety now because of the social distancing. They're trying to find their inspiration. Any advice?
The advice will be to use their emotion to create any art form, because that's a healing process also. Because I know many people and many artists are suffering from this period. Being in a self-isolation is better than being forced to it. So I think that a way to express the emotion is by creating something out of them without caring about the outcome. So that's the advice I have to give.
Beautiful.
Great advice. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you again to both of you so much. This was a lot of fun. I hope we do it again soon. And yeah, hang in there, stay well. Hopefully we'll see you on the other side soon, outside of our enclosed spaces. All right, Andra, anything else that you want to add?
No, just again, as Sabrina said, thank you for welcoming us into your studio, for sharing all these beautiful artworks with us and of course with our audience. It's been wonderful. I think we're so lucky that we have this digital connection right now, so we can keep in touch and we can use it for promotion and everything. So yeah, thank you very much for everything. It was wonderful meeting you, seeing you.
Yeah, thank you.